All right, go for it.
All right. So before I get into my list, I just want to give kind of my market impression, and then we'll probably come back to this when we talk, talk shop. So okay, so we had this big rally. You can call it whatever you want, bear market rally, melt up, deleveraging event, like whatever you want to call it. And it just went on for days. A lot of people wanting to short the market for macro reasons got wrecked on puts all week. You saw it all over social media and comments and Weeble or whatever. And then Friday we get this pullback, and so everyone's sort of wondering, is this going to kind of continue into Monday, or like, is the rally over? All of that. And I think those kind of questions are really hard to answer, and they're sort of the wrong questions. Like, to me, with this FOMC thing happening, what I'm looking for and what I see in the flow, I do see a kind of short term continuation of the pullback. But what easily can happen, and what I think people should look for, is for stocks to pull back to a level that and there's going to be some significant pumps this week. They might only last an hour or two. It might not be like a multi-day rally or something like that. But they do this every time we have these big Fed events where you get market pulling back, and then it'll pump for a few hours, and so that kind of thing is hard to time. It's easier if you're really focused on stocks that and levels that So that I think should be our focus. We get Lemonade pulling back to this level. This is what we're going to do. That kind of trading, I think, is going to help you cut out a lot of noise on what is going to be surely a pretty volatile week to me.
Yeah, I started getting the not necessarily when do I go long, but when do I swing messages
Yeah.
like midweek last week, and like by Wednesday I was already on. We're getting GDP numbers, so like don't get overextended here. Um, I plan to take Friday off anyways because I thought it wasn't going to be great going into next week, and that I felt like a genius at the end of the day. It didn't look at when I woke up in the morning. It looked like we were going to have a fine day, but it just turned so bad throughout the day. Um, I'm with you, but I don't think I'm in as much of a short term view because you're seeing it on like the day. I just think
Yeah.
you pick. I'm the same exact thing. You pick the levels. You see what's holds. It could bleed all week on this GDP. We're finally in a
Well,
recession news.
this is officially a recession, right?
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
this is a
yes.
number that does, and that's big psychologically. I think even if like our day to day lives aren't going to change by them saying that, like the actual announcement of it is can be pretty big. And when you have Google and Amazon kind of at precarious spots in the chart, it's a recipe. You could have a really bloody day or
Yes.
two this week.
Yeah, no,
So yeah,
I just see it on a little longer scale, but it's the same thing. You just let you see what levels hold, why it's getting the shit kicked out of it. And then when the market goes back to having this good run, which we've had it since April. I've been saying it since April, sideways or down. But when you get that little bit of relief, it's usually 3 or 4 days. I think a couple of them have been 5 or 6 days. So if you trust the level, you just get in when the water gets warm. You take your percent and you get out. You don't go long at this point in time. But some of these ranges are 50%, like easily. We got lucky with the crypto, um, but a lot of the other ones, like Roblox, that thing hasn't stopped. Play, it gave you 10, 20%. Um,
yeah,
and you just got to focus on 4 or 5. I hate saying it this way, but I think it's the best way for this room. Is you just if you believe in Play or Coin or Square or whatever, Starbucks, Amazon, Disney, just play that because if you get stuck in it, you'll be all right. Long term, you'll be
Yeah.
okay. But right now, the range on all of those stocks I just mentioned are plus 10%. And that's what we do here. We're day traders. We get our percent and we go home. Um, so,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I see it like with Baba. I mean, you talk
yeah,
about mixed flow, like they're probably taking that to 95 and then they're taking it to 135,
yeah,
months from now. And
yes.
so like but it's not going to be, after it hits that 95, it's not shooting straight up to 135. That's just what the whales, that's kind of the end result. And they have the bankroll to sit there in November calls and just not really care about this day-to-day stuff. Whereas as day traders, we have to be really cognizant of that. So it's not the time to go long on Baba when it's sitting at 100, in my opinion. But
But
very tradable.
playing it from 95, 96 to 101, 103 is a day trader's dream, though.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So that's that's the pullback I'm looking for. And then as a trader, it's about your style. Do you want to short it down to that, or do you want to stay focused on the upside and just wait it out for it to go back to those levels? That's just kind of a decision that you have to make. But I think you have to go into it with that plan in mind. You don't like have a long mindset, see it going down, panic and try to chase it with puts. Like you should have the plan going in. It hits this level, I'm going to play some puts down to 97 or whatever, and then I'll start thinking about going long. I mean, that's what I did Friday. Friday my long setups, I waited for them to materialize, and while I was waiting, I played puts on QQQ, and I got lucky, and they went like 600%.
Yeah, yeah.
And and then the long setups didn't really show up much. I caught coin on a small bounce off 70, but yeah, I mean, just don't want to catch a knife when the market's in a mood to sell off heavy.
Not to put you on the spot or anything, but we can I get a little detail on that QQQ trade because
Oh yeah, yeah,
I
okay.
think you're going like 20, 30, $50 and taking an educated gamble, and when people see that percentage, they'll do they think different. Like, oh, professor just got 10 grand because he went big into QQQ.
No, it was yeah, yeah. All right, so okay, so here's the deal. So on on the day, we had that little pump at open that fizzled out, and I did not see a scenario in the flow to push QQQ past 308. So when it failed there, I started watching, and I was because it dropped, and then it consolidated, and at that point of that consolidation, which was at about
306.
um, yeah, yeah, your time, and so at that point I'm like, well, when it breaks out of this, it's probably gonna go down, and 302 was my target, so I played zero DTE, not really planning on it to actually get to 302, but wanting to just catch that momentum on that drop, and I had five of them, so I had five of them for like $15. Okay,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's the sizing that you kind of want to think about if you're wanting to do zero DTE, in my opinion.
Yes.
So that is a lotto. That's my comfortable lotto zone, right? And so at the with the time of day and all that, and what I was actually looking to do was to just double those, so
Sure.
$15 to $30,
Sure.
just based on my experience on how these move. But then when it actually gets in a spot where your minute candles are like $1 and it just keeps going, that's where they explode like that. And they actually, I got out at like 90 on them, on most of them, and it ended up topping out at like 130, and then theta decay kicks in, or or whatever. But that's how I play a lotto. QQQ, I see it in this. I see it kind of top out. I don't see flow that's going to push it beyond that. It consolidates. Am I going to bet up or down? Well, I see flow pushing it further down, so I'm gonna get in that.
Perfect.
And it's like $9,
Yeah.
and that's how I do it. Do not try to be Starboy and put $1,000 in zero DTE. But on a day that where my other setups aren't going, it can let me hit my goal pretty fast. So so that's how to do that. Now you can just go longer with it. If you would have played Monday or Wednesday or Friday and just done a slightly larger position, you catch that move down, you're still going to make like 50% on those. But yeah, so that's what that was.
So and just real quick, if that went south, would it have just basically been to zero on your end, or would you have got out with
No,
some change?
so like if it had gone back to like 307.50 or something like that, probably like 50% is the stop loss on a lotto for me.
Okay.
Give or take. I kind of do it manually. I don't. There's no reason to let it go to zero. And if your $15 call drops to $6 or $7, it's probably not coming back. You definitely don't average down. You just take your loss. But risk reward on if I'm going to lose $50 or gain 200 to 400, that's a good risk reward for what you're putting into it.
Exactly.
That's kind of my whole approach to that. So it's lottos within rules, I think can be fine.
No, I like it, and then you just find that high success or high win rate stock for yourself, which is QQQ and Oxy, I assume, and you roll with it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, you don't do that with every setup just because it's
no, never. No, not at all. I mean, and zero DTE in general, like I mean, for something like Tesla, like it's just kind of a nightmare to me. I just don't even like to touch that. But yeah, when I can get several contracts and they're cheap, and it's a stock I know well, then yeah.
This QQQ loves RTL, man. Went right to the pre-market high, consolidated around the in between the pre-market high and low, and then went right to the yesterday low, where it finished.
Yeah,
just stays with inside the box. Beautiful chart.
Yep. So all right. So I've got I think I got some interesting stuff for us. Mostly in the smaller caps, just because of the whole. I think a lot of large caps are going to be really sensitive to Fed events, and that creates some difficulties in the flow reads. But I want to start off with ASTS. So this, I think we've traded this before. Base Mobile and global broadband cellular network in space to operate. So basically, it's like Starlink kind of in what they do.
Okay.
And okay, so what I got here, trading at 637. I've got 819 7.5 C on it as kind of the dominant contract. So it's been kind of range bound for a while. Sort of looks to me like we're in the middle of a zone here that goes down to 6. So if we get a pullback closer to 6, that might be better. But I think this is going to break out of this to the upside regardless.
You're on the weekly. If you look at a weekly, you're pretty much pulling the bottom up every week. So I don't know if you get back that far, Pete.
Yeah.
These low 6s are fine, and then I'm up at 8.5. Would be my level. That kind of volume profile is 10 on the 1 year, kind of splitting that. So yeah, I'm comfortable with that 8. That's kind of where it starts getting thick. 8.13, 8.
Well, yeah, and your entry, anything below 650
Yes.
on contracts at that August 19th, you'll be fine. I mean, you'll if it pulls back a little, maybe scale in if that's your target. But this we're at that week where those 819 contracts are in a really nice spot. They're you have some time on them, but they're also going to move really nicely on any kind of spike. So yeah, I love this setup. It's probably my favorite setup going into the week, ASTS.
Yeah, I like this a lot. Let me get some volume on this bottom of this chart real quick. There we go. You got low volume accumulation too. Like 680 has been the top consistently. So I love your under 650 because that just gives you that breathing room right there. When that breaks, you're not probably won't. When that 680 breaks into 7, you're probably not getting that again for a while.
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's
like
my
it.
that's my take on it. Kind of a sector I like too.
What is it? It
Um,
said space. Oh, Starlink.
internet space internet like satellite internet.
Nice. And you said 819 sevens.
7.5.
7.5s. Ooh, I like it. Even 50 centers. Or is this a 255er?
So this is, let me see.
God, my system's all messed up. It is a 255er.
Yeah, yeah.
Every strikes. Yeah.
Yep, one of those monthly cons.
Yeah.
And yeah, and they just that contract was, it was down 4.35%, and that 7.5C, it went down 35% on that. So that kind of gives you a sense of that. Now the call, if you want to lower your risk, the 5C, which is in the money, down 11% on that pullback. So if you want to limit your risk, going in the money but staying in August is the way to go, rather than staying out of the money and adding a month, just in
Okay.
terms of how they move. So that's just kind of up to your style and up to you how you want to play it. To me, I think ideally shares and some of these 7.5Cs is the best way to limit some risk and maximize profit. Just that's kind of my formula. Next up for me is TWOU.
Ah. I got it on mine. Just on chart
And
location, inside bar on the weekly.
and this one, the contract is 819 12.5C, and I see it giving us a nice test at that level. Got leaps 14 and 16 beyond that, so I think what I'm trying to play it to is that 12.5, but it can break out of that to the upside for sure.
Yeah, it's a buy 10, sell for 10-20% up on the top side for me. Just right at 10 if you can. I mean, if you're probably 10-20, but 10-20, 10 and a quarter, but anywhere in there.
Yeah, it's
I have
we
break. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, we've played this with some success before, ever since it had that big drop. Um, well, yeah, first time I did it was in March, I think, but yeah, so really good spot on my end.
Yeah, 1250 brings 15 real quick. So I would, I mean, if we get close to that, I'd really get into the flow again and see if they're trying to walk it up. I mean, because this could go a lot farther than that even. But the 12 to 15 looks quick.
Yeah,
Oh, what's this candle? Yeah, and our last drop, the drop ER drop in um, was 18. So
Rogers can't hurt you. I know. You from church. You are straight from church.
let's see. That's a good one.
yep. Getting some background noise from somebody.
who's in here. I'm not. People ain't been in here lately. Hold on, let me go see who's in here. Oh, it's Tune. Tune, mute your mic. Or there you go. I thought that was you. Yeah.
No. All right. So next up for me is Kind.
Yeah, like it. Real estate action.
Yeah, and this is the best real estate chart to me. Like, well, I mean, I guess the best flow, but I also kind of like the chart on it. And all right, so what I have here is
While you're looking, I think there's going to be some winners and some losers in real estate, but they're all beat down. That's why I like it, because there's going to be some winners that come out of this with no effect.
yes, and so the whales are spreading their money across them, so I don't think they know who's going to win, but they're going to be in whoever wins, and they're going to make more off the winner than they're going to lose off the loser.
Yeah,
so.
there's good enough odds on every horse in this race for sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, good morning, man. I'm kind of like late. I just left church. I wanted to apologize for having my mic on.
You good? You good?
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, no worries.
We just haven't had people in here, so we didn't know who it was.
So I got Leaps to 5 as kind of the dominant contract on it, but they're also really loaded up on 3C and they're selling 3P. So low threes, really good spot. Probably going to test 4, just shorter term.
Your volume profiles are 320 on the 1 and the 3 year, which that's a great pivot down there, especially if you can get below that. And then I have like 5.5, 575 as the next shelf. Real clean chart on that end. Once you get into that 4 zone P, I don't think it gives it back.
Yeah, it tested it once already, like a little earlier in July. Got caught in some market conditions, but yeah, no, I like this to make a move up there.
And this is probably on the low float stock, but a good volume profile lesson here. A lot of people see this and think there's just a lot of buying here when you see a bigger shelf on volume profile. I look at that a different way. When it gets overextended, there's not going to be many shares left at that price. So if there's buyers and there's not a lot of shares left at that price, it goes up. That's how that works. You have low volume movers, melt ups, whatever you want to call them. And that's why I like a chart like this when you have one shelf, especially large time frame. This is 3 years, and it's massive compared to everywhere else. So eventually, it's going to run out of liquidity down there. No one's going to want to sell their shares at the price it's currently at.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think that the macro conditions in real estate have to make some kind of dramatic recovery for the stocks to go up. Just because I think they fell this far kind of in anticipation of how bad this was going to get. And it's
wrong, and they're wrong. They dropped the price like we were going to have an 08, and that's
exactly.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah,
I'm in a pretty hot market up here, and yeah, like in Seattle right now, your $1.2 million house is down to like $1 million now, but you bought it at 600K like 4 years ago. I mean, it's just not going back to where it was. Maybe it loses another 100K, but the thing is gonna level that out and keep buyers in the market, because there is plenty of people that still want homes. Is just how the interest rate lines up. So the only one that's gonna lose is the homeowner that's selling. That's who's gonna lose, not the real estate company, not the banks. None of those guys.
Yeah, well, it's a different landscape on lending. I mean, it's you don't have that same kind of bubble in 08. So yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, well, whether you buy the house at 400 or 700, it really don't matter to the bank or the real estate people. They need the volume every month. They just need to sell X number of houses. They don't care the price.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. I mean,
right.
it does trickle down to the agent, right? They're not getting their 3% of that extra 100K, but other than that, it don't matter. They're all about volume, and even on the back end of that, like banks bulk the mortgages together and sell that as I forget what they call them, but it's all a dirty volume game. It really is, and I don't see the volume going away in housing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. So yeah, and my next one is TTCF.
I don't know if I heard of this one.
Yeah,
Good call. What you got here, P? No, I think you have mentioned this before. Okay.
yeah. All right, pretty much bottomed out, and um, what I'm seeing here, I talk all the time about. Well, actually, I don't know if I use this phrase on Jivo when like I see the whales waking up the small cap, and that's kind of what I see on this one. So so what I have here, we're trading obviously at 650, um, but whales are selling 7p, and they're buying leaps at 15, um, leaps at 20, and kind of walking it up in the all contracts at 7C, 8C, 9C.
There's not a lot of stuff down here at this 6 till about 10. That's really where volume profile starts. I was expecting 10s or 12s. Um, 15 is the start of the big shelf though. 16.
And right, and those by the way are 2024.
Yeah.
So a 2024 15 equates to a 2020 in terms of like how they'll move and all that. So
you don't have no 10. 10 would be the
yeah, I got 2023 10C is what is one that is popping up.
This is a beautiful weekly. It's just it's trying to build a 4, but there's not much that's there. Um, Under 6, not 580 or whatever it is.
Yeah, and they have earnings coming up on August 12th, which I would probably not play through those, but because that's going to be important for it in terms of the longer term. But definitely think we could play this um, to 750.
Okay, yeah, okay, I like that. What have we been going here? Yeah, 7 for sure. I like that.
So they're a plant based food company, and they do ready to cook internet order meals. So they're not a plant based meat company though. Like they're just sort of a vegetarian cook at home kind of deal. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Blue Apron and the
Exactly. Yeah.
those guys. I like those services because they don't have a lot of the overhead.
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, they have some flexibility in their whole business model deal. So yeah, okay. Now,
Hey, Professor,
yeah.
that on Tattoo Chef, a ticker that normally runs with Tattoo Chef, but it might be a couple dollars off, is Oatly.
Oh,
OT.
yeah, I've heard of that.
Yeah,
It's the milk.
They
Oat
run.
milk guys.
They run together, like they're in that consumer staple department.
Yeah.
Yeah, who was on that? That's
Yeah.
Tommy's baby. I like this one. It's a dead ass IPO. It 2521 is when it came out at $22, and it had the initial month pop, and it's all downhill. But Atlas, that Tommy guy was on this thing for a long time.
I got both of those two tickers on my like my little low key penny stock tickers that I want to get shares of, but I just haven't like found like the what like the level to like personally buy like a for like if I want to hold it for long term. I
I didn't
definitely like Oatly.
I didn't know they were at
Yeah,
ADR. That's interesting.
yeah. I'll dig into the flow on that and put it in my notes. All right. So next up for me is Momo.
Sweet, like it.
Heading back into this one. All right. So we we played this one with some success before, and I think it's time to look at it again. All right. So what I have on Momo, I got 6C for 916. Got 7C 826, and sold puts. This is one that has kind of a some weird strikes, but sold put at 438p.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I do remember that now.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what exactly causes strikes to hit those numbers, but yeah, like half their strikes are normal, and half of them are at these weird intervals.
We played this 5 to 6 last time, with success, and then I think I called it maybe like 3 weeks after that, and you said not yet. So now that you're back into it and we're a little bit cheaper, good call there, Professor. Because,
Yeah,
but I like 5 as an overall pivot, especially here because it's 50 cents up there. That works for me. That's a half a day trade right there if you catch it. Um, Other than that, yeah, I love it. I like the chart. This ADR too, correct? Am I wrong on that?
yeah, it is,
Yeah.
and I mean, to me, that this is kind of the evolution of our system, right? I mean, it's flow plus TA, but then it's flow plus TA plus setups we've seen before, and we're just we just keep going back to it when it pulls back to our levels. I
What?
know what to look for, and just gives you that conviction to see it
Yeah,
repeat.
I don't know if you do it, but I totally also write down what order that came in as well. Did we go TA first on this, or did we go the flow first? Like what leads in this stock? Because if
Yeah,
that could
well,
be
that's important.
consistent as well, and this was totally flow. The flow. This is a flow stock. So I just basically have that notation. Is it a flow stock or a TA stock? And then um, yeah, because you don't want to be late on TA constantly and go like, oh, it did it again. Just try to learn that psychology of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the whale, they're buying strikes based on TA just like everybody else is, and a sense of what algos are going to do, and all that. Um, so yeah, and then the other scenario for flow is that something's bottomed out, and they know a catalyst is coming, and they just get it, they front load it and get into it, and then the TA catches up to it. So yeah, I know that's definitely a big part of the dynamic too.
Exactly.
Now, next up for me, I've got, let's see how many I got. I've got four more here.
Good. You're carrying weight this week. Let's go.
Yep, I got Clove.
Yes. This is the first week in a long time where we have one, two, three. Momo, I didn't write down, so we would have had four. But I was thinking about it. But we have three so far that are on my list over here.
Oh, nice, excellent. So Clove, very simple setup in the flow, where I see 3C popping off for the next couple weeks, and then the same whales at a lower volume into 450 a couple weeks later, and leaps to 10. The leaps to 10 happens every time Clove's about to do something. It's not an indication that we're going to run to
Not running to
$10.
10.
But those are 10C leaps are $5, and they'll run those to $10 if this hits 3. So that's what they're doing with it. And you can actually trade it that way too, if you want to. If you're paying fees for options, you're not getting a lot of bang for your buck on that. But anyway, that's what they do. So in terms of a floor, 250p is what they'll end up selling when it's in this spot. Some 2p as well, and and I think we'll be off. I think we'll probably break 3, test the higher 3s. I don't know if we'll get to 4, but we don't need to get to 4.
For me, we had I forget our lower level here. I think it was only 235, but the 256 was on our chart before delete gate, and 257 is volume profile in the 3-year. It's pretty much volume profile in the 1 year at this point in time. And this is if it's just so you can have it in plan. But if this did break 5, which that level is huge, that psychological level is huge at this point. 758 is where you're going to start having problems before 10. So
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. If you can get in here around 250, just playing it back to 4, that's a beautiful trade.
Yeah, and it's a stock that it works well for options. The spread is small because it has that kind of that theme fan base, and so the volume on the options is really good. No real reason to play weeklies though. You just go 1 week later and spend a few bucks, and it protects you a little more. But love that one this week.
Nice.
All right, so next up for me, CSTM.
CSTM.
So this is an aluminum stock, specifically dealing with aerospace and automobile packaging and parts and things like that. So rolled aluminum products. That's what they're doing. So they're not a kind of a raw materials stock, but they make shit with aluminum and sell it. Okay. So
16 or 17.
Yeah, that's what I have. So I've got 16C, 17C for August on it, and heading into earnings on the 28th, or sorry, 27th, pre-market, and just kind of see AA held up pretty well. Things are looking pretty good for aluminum, so I'm just looking for this uptrend to continue. And they could end up with some really positive earnings. So you could play the earnings aftermath on it this week as well.
It's blindingly obvious, those strikes on this side. I mean, clearly. So yeah, I like the setup. This is one where I'd have never even looked or seen this chart, but when the flow says that and the chart says that, that's A+ for me. As far as when's earnings here?
The 27th pre-market.
So that's I'm trying to let this dip Monday, Tuesday, see if I can get myself some maybe high 13s, just sitting a little bit.
Yep.
It's a good risk reward ratio. You're not going below. You're just not going to go below that 12. So yeah, love it. Nice. Another aluminum too. Sweet.
Yeah, and this is they basically they're headquartered in Paris, so it's a European stock. But
can I full port my challenge into the weekly over here or what?
Yeah.
What we got?
Right. Our basic materials challenge.
Yeah, I can buy 2 of those full port.
Yeah.
Let's go.
All right, and then next up for me really curious on the TA on this one. Matt, M-A-T, the Mattel, the toy
Oh,
company.
yeah. They're
They
another ER, right?
they had earnings.
They had
Yeah,
earnings, yep.
and they had I think they had a positive reaction, and then they've kind of pulled back a bit. So this one, like, we do our these on Sunday. I'm actually looking for this one to pull back a bit before I would want to buy it. But what I'm seeing is a move to
25.
25
Yeah.
in the flow,
Yep. It's there.
and some leaps to 27 as well. But yeah, I think I'd like to buy it between $21 and $22 if it can pull back that far, and then I see that move to 25 taking shape.
27 would be your all-time high. 25 stands out. It's well in profile in the 1 year. I love the level. In good market conditions, I think this would have been fine, but you can just see it had, that bad week when we've had those bad weeks.
Yeah.
Nice consolidation. I don't think you'll get to 21 is the low. I mean, you're not getting much below that. Mid 21s, getting kind of greedy there. If you don't take this dip again, that's another one like you're saying Monday, Tuesday. Like just it should have a little pullback or one more pullback day, and it's a good spot to add.
Yeah, and if you get the mid-August calls on this, gives you some margin for error on your entry. Maybe like don't plan on buying it all at once. Just we get a little pullback, buy some. If it does pull back to 21, I think that'd be a great spot to add to. But yeah, I don't know if we'll get a pullback that far.
We need I don't know if it'd be an individual sector, but like Funko has popped up a lot too lately, and it's a lot like this, maybe in a little better position. I don't know if that comes across your end. FNKO.
Yeah, yeah. Funko. Yeah, their option volume isn't as high, but yeah, definitely that's been one. They've just been crushing earnings every time. Yeah.
So just on the sympathy side, or I don't know how toys run together, but it just fits a narrative for me.
Yeah, and it looks kind of like Funko's on an uptrend that if it holds that, it can just keep grinding up. Let me check the flow on it real quick.
It's got to break that all-time high. It's at the same thing at 27.
Yeah.
I mean, but we're playable from here. I like what they did. I follow them a little too much because they're a local company. The headquarters is really cool.
Yeah, they got leaps to 35.
Yeah.
So there's definitely whales banking on that break of that all-time high.
Well, I know how you are. If you put a ticker in your head and then it pops up when you're looking, it'll ring a bell. Like.
Yeah, definitely gonna keep an eye on it for sure. All right, so my last one is a minor, and they have just been crushed.
CDE.
But CDE.
Yeah, we've been on this before.
Yes, and I think we're pretty close to the bottom here, and there's nothing in the flow to push this lower, and in fact 3 is actually where they want the floor to be on it. So just with some patience, I think this can do really well. There's a scenario in the flow to take this back to 4. There's leaps to 6. Just kind of depends on what gold wants to do from here.
Are they?
So I'm not high conviction on gold yet, but I think that we're getting there. It might take a couple weeks, but I think that'll reverse.
I got 8.3 earnings.
Oh yeah,
we're
nice.
What 2 weeks from that? I'd watch for the loaders, right?
Yep.
Yeah, there's no floor, a lot of room. I got 5 here. What do I got over here? Yeah, I got like basically 4 strong high 4s on your volume profile, just all down. This is one of the ones where I think we said 2 weeks ago, when they start going downhill and there's nothing there, there's really no to tell where it's gonna stop at. There's just no
Yeah, there's
floor.
it's a different kind of floor because it's artificial in a sense that it's the whales setting it up through options rather than there being something solid on the TA side that'll give you a floor.
That'll hold
Yeah.
it exactly.
Yeah.
Look at the day in the year here. Yeah, and he just has selling the last, just low volume, lot of selling.
Yeah, whales haven't been touching this for almost. In fact, you look at when we took it off the hot, like a month and a half ago,
Yep.
and they whales have just been completely out of it for like 6 weeks, and so now I see them getting back into it, and I'm going to kind of follow the open interest. They're not going to want to lose money on it, and I think it'll be easy to flip around for them. Like they can push this without a lot of volume. So, so I see that taking shape. Not sure it's going to be like, this is not a stock to trade tomorrow, probably, but definitely want to get it on our radar because I think in the next couple of weeks it'll turn around.
Yeah. Big tell on my end is 250. It stayed in the 260s, so if it stays above 250, that's a good sign, especially this week because that'll be a 3rd week in a row. Kind of give you a little floor to go with your flow read. So
nice. Yep.
I like it.
All right. Yep. So that's my new stuff.
Sweet. All right. Let me pull the last guy here. Pretty good week on the hot list, I'd say.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if you got in early in the week. So.
A lot of opportunities in crypto. Any market cap you wanted.
Yeah, and we were on that towards the end of last week. So if people pre-ordered, so to speak, they did real good. Those five contracts that I screwed up the strike on, could not lose. 130% it went. You know me, I take my 50% and call it a lesson. But it's just nice to hit something and it lasts for more than a couple days. The same with the shares. I got 480s on those. It's just nice to actually manage some trades instead of.
Yeah, like I'm sure, like when coin went up 12% early in the week, I'm sure there were a ton of people loading puts on that, thinking, "Oh, just give it all back," and then it just went even higher the next day. But
yeah, coin and Mara surprised me. They really did surprise me.
Yeah.
AA. I don't think we're done here.
No, we're not, and I don't think we are either. And that's I had that new aluminum play, and part of the reason is just that I see it as the strongest metal right now. It held up a lot better than copper did for sure. All right, so okay, let me check my flow here. All right, so I have a lot at 48 this week, which is kind of what I would expect for a reasonable out of the money target. And
you have 55s anywhere in the future?
I got leaps to 60. I got January 55C as well.
I see why they're buying 48 because there is some strong resistance at 50. But again, if it breaks that 50, 55 comes real quick. I could see 60 coming real quick if a 50 breaks.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it has enough momentum. You see that heavy resistance ahead. It's like they're gonna test it. I mean that's kind of my take. It's like that when there's a level that strong above, and we're this close with some momentum, that they're going to give it a try, and that's what you're playing, is that run up to that resistance, and and then from there, you already won your trade. Maybe you have one left, and you're just or a few shares, and you just want to see if it'll break it. But yeah, I think we're going to play that test for sure.
I like it. AI big pullback Friday, kind of reset the chart. We had, I mean, it had a great beginning of the week. I mean, we flew to like 21 and a half from 19, kind of what we had. I think 2050 was our line on the chart to break before, with 16 being the bottom. Not quite at 16, so we are in the middle of that zone.
The sold call, or the calls, are bearish on it, so that has me a little concerned.
Okay.
The 2250C for 819 is about 70% bearish. So I'd want to see that flip before I'd be back into it.
Yeah, no, and it made the beginning of the week kind of did the move here. I'm gonna put my lines back on this chart. There we go.
So one that I think we'll come back to, but
yes, always. Alto. Another one that ran from 380s into the mid 4s, but then Thursday, Friday gave it all back.
Is that it's that bearish engulfing candle? Is that what that's called?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not seeing much right now. But
AMRS.
Yeah, so we're gonna keep it, and the reason is that they manipulate this one through 2P and 2C, and basically they run it up to 220 or so. They flip bearish on those contracts. They bring it back down, and then they just flip right again and do it again. So been through this one enough that on a 15% drop, I'm glad it happened. I already did my trade on it, and I'll just do.
Yeah, I got the 180s last week. Took it to the 2, called it good. What your perfect entry is like 175 if you can get it. But I have 177, 230 on the chart, and if you look at it in a weekly time frame, it's every other week. I said it last week in voice. I'm just looking for this pattern to repeat, up and down in this channel. So.
Yeah, and you just you go shares or you go monthly contracts, and just very low stress. If you're struggling at all, this is one to do for sure.
And if you're not like a share trader, this is a good place to start. Like if for some reason it just hasn't worked for you in the past, like this is a good place to start. The 70 to 20 level is dang near 40-50 cents on a you're talking 25%. That's a huge move. Such a safe trade.
Yeah, I love that one.
CCJ.
So yeah, uranium had a pullback that was not flow driven, which can happen, and basically it just kind of means that it was sort of going with the market. It was selling off, but they weren't really actively pushing it down. So whales are still bullish on uranium overall. I've got 2182 as my trade off of on this one, and basically it's the 22 puts that are bullish, and I have flow in September to 31. I've got 8/5/26 and 9/16/30C. So yeah, I still like thesis on uranium still bullish for me.
Do you want this on the hot list still? Is it
we can take it off the hot list for now, but it'll probably show up on my options watch list.
Okay. Carvana.
I think this probably pulls back to like 21 or so I guess I would take it off the hot list for that reason, but it gave us a great move all week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it did its job. We'll come back to it.
Perfect.
I think, but I don't like it here. I don't like it
Yeah.
in the middle of the zone.
100%.
So
yeah.
it needs to either break 30 or it needs to come back to 21 or below, even lower, and then I'll play it again.
Yeah, I have 22, 21.94. So same thesis though. DraftKings.
I do. I like DraftKings. Let me
I like
see here.
DraftKings a lot. It didn't like Friday, but the trend is still there on the weekly.
This to me is still just a very clear run up to football season.
Yeah. Yes. Which
And,
is the catalyst. Yep.
Yeah, and the contracts on it to like 15 and 16 have me interested. That is there like a resistance here in like the mid 14s something?
Yeah, you're thick until about there, and then you bust out to 17.
Yeah. Flo says it's going to break out of that, so I'm with it.
I like it. Yeah, it's one of my favorite right now going into the end of the quarter. EVgo, power move.
Yeah.
I asked in chat last week, would this get to 8? Are we gonna break 8? And if we so, let's put it on the list. And we went to 880, 927, 927. Just power. Don't need to keep it unless you see continuation.
No, I think we need to keep it.
Okay.
But we'll just take a win with that one.
Yeah. FSR.
All right, so I still got $15 on this in September, so
the weekly's super strong looking. It's just not busting over that 10 level. I mean, it's gonna have to eventually. We could throw a trend line right here.
Yeah,
I like it.
I do too.
Okay. And I know they have catalysts coming in like November, October. So I mean, it's a matter of time. I mean, that's when the release is supposed to be. They should PR every month up to it.
So the highest volume trade is there's whales that they're buying 15C and they're selling 15P, which is a very bullish position that gives them some protection with that deep in the money put they're selling. But yeah, so they're that's a level that they're looking to hit that basically.
That's interesting. I mean, it might be a Selden news in November with the run up to it, but the volume profile lines up with that as well. On the 3-year 15 is where this chart's going to go. It just needs a reason and conditions.
Yeah.
Reminds me of, is it Donut? Donut and like IMAX. Like they're going where they're going. You're not stopping them.
Right.
GPRE.
So very nice move. A little pullback on Friday. Let's see what.
Dude, what did we have? We had the 10% move during the week. Just went with the market Thursday, Friday.
Yeah, volume's a little low for me. I'm probably not going to keep it for
Okay.
now, but
Perfect.
might keep it.
I talked you into that one last week. Kind of glad I did.
Yeah.
Hood. $8.3 earnings. Feels like we're in the anticipation mode on that.
Yeah. We got 950.10 on my end. Pretty bullish for the next couple weeks, and looking to see if anything above that.
I like that in itself, to be honest
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah, there's some. I mean, there's some leaps to 12 and 15 as well, but even a move to 10, it'd be pretty good.
Is the options decent? The options are good on this, I assume.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Let's keep it. Let's keep it then for sure. Because Hertz. Another ER look. I think it's 8.3 as well. Nope, 28th. So it's the end of the week. End of the week, Thursday. Is that Thursday?
$9.16.20 C.
20s, yep. Keeping this.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah, what's up?
put TSP on your radar. This thing can move, but it's on a pullback because like that risk on, risk off type play.
Yep. Yeah, I'll check it out for sure.
It's one of those. It's that electric truck company. I mean, driverless. It doesn't have a driver.
Oh, okay. Bitcoin in general. Where are you at on that? Start with Hut.
Yeah, I mean, I think we probably we're in a little bit of a attempt at a rally this morning, but not much. I think crypto probably dips. I'm not in a rush to trade it. So,
I think there's a couple laggers, but you kind of got to separate the. There's obviously the blue chip, which is coin. It's by far the best. It's hands down. If you're trading crypto stock, coin's it. There's some that are overextended, like your MSTR and Mara now, and then I like some of the shitty ones are a little better. Hut being the best of the shitty ones, and in chart position right now. So if we were gonna keep any,
Hut definitely like we'll keep Hut because I do think that there's a path to 250 from here.
and then what about coin?
Well, coin I'm not wanting to hot list it, but
Okay.
I have levels on it and I trade it.
Coin's like your Oxy, new Oxy. You won't hot list it, but you call it every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I like coin from a TA standpoint, so yeah, we're good.
Nice.
And then what about? Never mind. We're good. LEU.
So this had a nice move during the week and then pulled way back here. I'm just I'm gonna get out of it for now. I'm new to it, so I just want to it got the move I saw, and now we'll see what it does from here. But I'll take it off for now.
Lumen. LUMN.
Yeah. Grinded up a bit. Two really bad days.
Had a bad pre-market. Didn't even have a bad day.
Yeah. I'm gonna take it off. I might come back to it, but I want to see what it does closer to $10.
Okay. And we were good on MSTR.
Yeah.
MVST.
Yeah, I'm waiting this one out.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm gonna keep it.
I've
I like it.
noticed Professor got a little bit of stubbornness in him. He do. But it usually pays off. um, Nicola, we was doing it, and then Friday happened. Weekly staying good.
Yeah, Wales look like they want to punish this one, so I'm gonna take it
Call
off.
it up. Perfect. Open.
Open's getting back to where I added. You can get it at 5 or under 5.
Yes, we're keeping.
Yeah, you should get it. So yeah, we're gonna keep it. We'll have that real estate combo this week with Open and Kind.
This is not as safe as AMRS, but it is as easy as AMRS.
Yeah.
Play.
Yeah.
He just said, "Yeah, are we still good here? Give me a number, goddammit."
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so 40.
Okay.
Yeah, 40 for the fall.
Okay. Yeah, then I like it under 36 because that's been kind of a level. You get it like 33 right now, 34 even. This is fine. PSNY. We're dying over here.
Yeah. It looks kind of bleak to me, but
let's come back next week. Let's just come back
yeah.
next week. Yeah. Roblox.
So Roblox is it's held up really well. Did have the pullback Friday, kind of to be expected. I would like this more on a pullback to 36 than I do up here.
So is Roblox? The flow doesn't suggest that we keep it on the hot list at 40.
Right. Yeah. They're. I mean, I do think that this is like a $60 stock to me. But I think that like for this week, I think that we probably get a little bit of a pullback. But I mean, I could be wrong, and definitely if you've been trading it, you can scalp this.
Yes.
But hot list criteria doesn't quite.
We might end up in our spot 36, 35 come midweek, and then this is back on. But we're not going to predict the fall, right? And if the flow isn't to 45 right now, if you don't have a strong read, because that's what I have on my side, 45, then there's no reason to. Yeah, it's just we do this every week. We can put it back next week.
Exactly, and we can still trade it Wednesday, Thursday if it's if it lines up like that.
Thank God we got the notes. Rig. I fucking hate this stock.
All right, so
can't get it right, Pete.
Yeah, oil. Really, really interested in what futures are going to tell me about oil today. Let me see what the flow is.
The little thing I've kind of learned through my market journey is this is not an oil stock; it's an oil sympathy stock. So
yeah,
it might have ran with oil one time, maybe two times, but that don't mean it's always going to run with oil because it's a flipping robotics company that probably doesn't make much money.
Yeah. Flow looks bearish on it.
Yeah, I think, let's just walk away from this right now, please.
Yeah.
We didn't mention it, so I will though, because it's kind of middled for me. But Riot, do you have anything on Riot that stands way out, or should we let this one breathe as well?
Let me see.
God, my 480 call was great on this. I should have held those a lot longer though.
All right, so Riot, pretty bullish overall. Looking like 8C is the kind of the top end right now.
Yeah, it's not enough for me. Let's let's take the winner off. Pat herself on the back. We'll come back.
Yep.
Shop. I like when I nail these ones.
Yeah, that was a nice move. Let me see. Kind of another one of those that I think is I feel like it's probably going to pull back with the market, but I'm not certain on that. 40C is pretty strong. I'd like to see a little more beyond that. I do. Well, I don't know. I have 819 4750 volume exceeded open interest on Friday. Well,
I got 32 floor, and it really gets spicy into the 40s.
Oh, yeah.
I lost you there, P.
Oh, sorry. I want to keep it, but yeah, because I do have 4750C for 819.
Okay.
But yeah, we could see a little pullback here.
I like this. I like everything about it. The post split levels just held well, and it has plenty of range back. So, skin.
Oh, let's see. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna take this one off for now.
Okay.
Kind of broke out of my setup there.
Probably your one of your best calls last week, at least from my end. TAL.
Yeah. That I was gonna take the win here, but that was a nice one.
Yeah, we were thinking, is this gonna go into the 4s, and it went to 5.
Yeah.
Tell. Another one. We just power moved off the good level.
Yeah. Some uncertainty here, so I'm gonna take it off, but probably come back next.
Another dub. Top.
Same thinking here. Definitely still very interested in where this is going to go.
Yes. And the more we stay at 7, the better I feel about it. I think it goes to what 660, but that's playable range right there, even from the 660 back to the 720 range. Yeah, I like it a lot. You.
I'll take that off for now.
UXIN. This chart, man.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have the same flow that brought me to list it, but I think it's worth watching. But
if you can get your position right, this thing just moves 20 cents on its own. Like,
yeah,
it's weird. It's hard to catch, but that the this level here, this 69 to like 85, is good. I'll leave it up to you. I don't know how I want to say that.
Yeah,
I like different kind of fish.
Right. Yeah. No, we'll keep it. We'll keep it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna move.
I like it. View. I do like this.
Yeah, this has exceeded my expectations. I like it. I like it to 250. So
yeah,
I think we'll get there.
We're keeping that. WDC.
I'll take it off for now.
Wow.
Wow.
All these just got smacked Friday. I'm telling you, we were.
Yeah, I'm in kind of wait and see mode to see what happens in reaction to that, but kind of gave me the move I wanted. So
okay. Yelp.
Another one that has some nice days. Not seeing a reason to keep it right now. So
Zillow.
real estate theme. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and keep it.
Like it.
Probably go to $40.
Sweet. We got 40 on that. Where are we at? The trend on the weekly is really good on that guy. 40 breaks. I would start checking flow for 45.50 real quick.
Yeah.
I think we end up at that 50 level end of the year here. That's a huge move. That's 50%. All right. I got a few. A lot of them are definitely repeats. Let me make a note here. So AFRM, I'm interested in this week, especially if you see anything.
Yeah.
And 30 would be my number.
Flow is kind of overwhelmingly bearish based on Friday, but we'll have to see what sticks.
Okay.
They might have just been day trading that.
If it ain't there yet, we'll move on.
Okay.
ASTR. I don't know if you get flow on this. Oh, it's a 250 strike. You're not gonna get flow on this. It's a space.
No.
It's a space play at the bottom. I'm gonna note this.
Yeah.
Notes. Bark. BARK. That's another 251.
Yeah, I don't have much flow on it.
This one you will. Apologize for these. I didn't check most of these strikes. I was all over the place. Build a Bear. BBW.
Love that one. All right, let me see what I got here. Yeah, 20C for August, so that's nice. Yeah, let's do it. I like it.
We're just holding trend. Yeah, I have a little bit lower than this, but the volume profile 16 to 20, which caught my eye, and then previous winner, right?
Yeah.
Blink. Chargers in excuse me, Chargers in general.
Yeah, this one had that breakout and then pull back on Friday.
The weekly chart's beautiful to like 23, 24. And then that confirms on the 1 year as well.
Yeah, this is another one where the Friday flow is kind of muddying things for me.
Okay.
Where they kind of cashed in on that pullback.
Let's just wait. CGC. How do you feel about we plays in general? I think something's up. I think they're.
Yeah, no, I do too. So we does that thing where that has big days and then gives it back, but I think that the big days are going to hit. So 729 3C is very popular contract on this, and I think it would be good for the hot list to have some wheat exposure because I think that these are gonna have some really good days this week. So yeah, we'll do it.
I like this one slightly better than Tilray. Tilray didn't make my notes, but because I like this one a little bit better, but that's just as good as this, especially if you get the flow exposure.
Yeah, just don't buy Kern.
Yeah, no, we can. Hey, I pride myself for talking you out of that one at 40 cents.
Yeah.
Chewy. Love this 42 level. Kind of hitting. Let me not speak on that before. Yeah, love this 42 level. It's kind of hit it a couple times. Like the 50's kind of gotten away. If there's anything on your end, I would add it.
So 47. Yeah, 729, 47, 47.50, 46.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think they expect to run it up to that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
I like it. And this one we played from 42 here, or excuse me, like 38 to here. It just looks like it looked like continuation, so I love it. Climb, CLNE. This one.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
did check. This does have options.
yeah.
Love the $5 level, especially since five's volume profile in the 1 year. The 3 years, $8 still. Um, that's kind of what I'm looking for. Something in there, 5 to 8.
Yeah. So I've got 819, 5C, 6C, and 7C. I like it.
Strong. Keep it.
Yeah, yeah.
Jesus, we're getting a lot of these. One of your favorites, Datadog.
Oh yeah, yeah. I called out
You did.
the. I said there's an opportunity here, and
It was
then
like at 94, and it went to like
Yeah.
104.
Yeah.
Professor's a pumper. I have 90 as the floor. I'm probably a little low. But then it plays back to the 97 level even.
Yeah, definitely. And so they were day trading a lot of weeklies on this, but let me see. Yeah, I still just see the runs to that 106, 110 range are going to be the norm here. And we're pretty close to the floor. My floor is 90 in options, so
that's what I have too.
Yeah. Yeah, we're good.
All right, let's
We'll
do
do
it.
it.
I just want more people to be familiar with that because I think it's safe, and I think if we ever do get back to the world being normal, this is a $200 stock.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. I like it better, a little bit better than CrowdStrike, just because it's less known.
Yeah, and I'm off of net ever since it did not pass the May low test. So yeah, Datadog's mine too.
Perfect. I more personal here than anything. DNA got the same over there still looking the same.
Yeah, DNA is it's a kind of flow like they're. I can't see where they're going to walk it up, but I see where they think that this is going to be like a $20 stock or something. Like I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Like 10C and 12C and all this and the leaps.
I didn't expect to pull like 4 or 5 off my top end already, so I'll just put this one in notes this week.
Okay.
Instead of on the hot list. FFIE. I'm just the dip. That it's back to where you very first called it. So I'm curious what you see now.
Man, what a chart. Glad I didn't diamond hand. I took my percent and got out.
Yeah. We don't have a lot of charts that do this to us, but when they do, I'm very curious.
Yeah, I mean, so for now, the whales actually lost a lot of money on this because they were in like 3P and 4P. They're bullish, and they got trapped in that. And yeah, I nothing definitive just yet. I just see some big L's for the whales right now because they never really went bearish to this extent on it.
Did you look at the weekly chart on this?
Let me see.
Yeah, pull up the weekly.
Yeah. God.
I know,
That is massive.
it's
Wow.
stupid. Like I said, we don't have charts that do that normally.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not normally what we find, so it's an oddity. All right, I'll keep an eye on her for sure.
Yeah.
Givo, bad Friday.
Yeah. Let's see.
As soon as it gets traction, it just dies on us. It seems, and
Yeah, this is definitely a day trade short swing kind of stock. So yeah, I'm bearish on it only slightly, so it could go either way in the flow, and I'll just be watching, and
got
I'll let you know.
sit on this for a few weeks. We got ER on the
Yeah.
8th. I think we'll be back on it around then. We talked about Hut Mo.
Yeah, Mo looks set up for a pretty good week. Would make sense if the market goes kind of risk off with GDP and all that. There was a cigarette company had good earnings recently, Philip Morris, I think. So yeah, this is still way oversold on
Yeah.
the Juul fiasco. I like it. It's a pretty safe play. So yeah, I'm good with adding it.
Perfect. I'm gonna skip that guy. I'm not. I had PLTR, but I'm gonna leave it for right now. It wasn't that good looking. What do you got on Rev? It's a social play, but I know that got flow, and 5
Yeah,
is holding
it
really
keeps
well.
it keeps popping up in my sector notes. And let's see here.
I mean, we really have this $5 level established now. I mean, it's a line in the fucking sand.
Yeah, I got 819 6C. Looks pretty strong.
Better for notes.
Probably for notes, yeah.
Okay.
I think
Okay. Yeah, and I got 5-6. You got 6. I like that for our notes. All right. Skills. Just want to keep that one fresh. I know you were on it a minute ago. The trend was there, and it just gave it back Friday.
Yeah. 150p is pretty bullish.
That's where we are too.
Yeah, pretty good floor. Yeah, I mean, I just can't see it going much below this. So from that respect, I think you could easily see 10, 15% this week, and it's not even that much of a move
Yeah.
in the large scheme of things. But yeah, I like it. I do.
Let's put it on there then.
Yeah.
Where you at on TDoc? I'm kind of getting interested in COVID stocks again. Zoom didn't make the cut, but it was on there too. But TDoc I like. It holds this level pretty well where we're at 40, and it's got range for days. It was $300 stock, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a. Let's see.
I mean, honestly, not that's a shouldn't say that out loud. I really have like 70 though. If I was gonna pick a target from here, it'd be 70, and that's huge.
Yeah, I've got flow. I do have flow to 65.
That's huge.
So that's pretty nice.
What dates?
All right, so it's September.
Okay. Because we do have earnings this week. They're 27th, so that's Thursday.
Yeah, no, it is. And I don't think they would need a huge beat to go up on earnings.
Let's put them on there. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Your favorite ADR, Tiger.
Nice.
I just love it sub 4 here. Don't really have a target, but I do like it down here.
Yeah, I don't have actionable flow on it just yet.
Sure. I think we have View. View's on the hot list, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Okay. Workhorse we talked about because it was. Where are you with Invex? I looked into all that. They dropped on the allergic reaction news. Two cases.
Yeah.
Two cases. And again, I might be wrong, but I like all the COVID stocks again.
So NVAX, I've got 80 C for 819. I've got Leaps at 140.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I got 50 as
yeah.
a floor.
That doesn't hurt. Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I got 50 as a floor. That's a good patience play because we waited. I mean, we waited 2 weeks, two and a half weeks for this thing after the news just to see what it's gonna do, to see if it has an opportunity. And then while we're here, Pfizer. Where you at with Pfizer? The pill's gonna save Biden's life, and we're gonna hear about it.
I got this zone on it.
50.
Basically 55.
Yep.
But I think that at around here for a run to 55 are pretty safe.
Better for notes.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one for you, MViz. This chart has been stellar, and then it just had the bad Thursday, Friday, taking it back to a pretty solid level here around 4.5. Our top end's 5.5. Just curious what you see, because
I've got 729, 5, and 550.
This is one that I have wrote down. Flow, what we talked about a little earlier about what leads. This is flow first. Last time you were so early on this thing, so I'm curious. Is it like the same? Push?
It's not quite as aggressive to the upside right now, but I mean it is bullish though.
I think I'll notes that one just as well.
Okay.
Just unless you're against. I mean.
No, that's good. That's good.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. And then, sorry, I do have one more. NOV? What the hell did I get this one for? NOV. Oh, yeah, NOV. What you got?
All right. Yeah, I don't have enough volume on it to have an opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then on our let's just start with that one because we want to do that every week. SPY. Where are we at with our weekly SPY update?
All right. So SPY is looking really bearish into Friday, and whales loaded up really heavy at 916 376 T, probably in anticipation of this week's news. So pushing beyond 400 looks like it's going to be a problem on my end for now.
Would that be the play? Would that be the play? Just wait for 400 and short it. I mean, read the market a little bit.
Yeah, we might not get there. So we might gap down a bit overnight. But let me call this up here. So okay, so basically, if it's gonna, to me, if it's bounce, it needs to do it around 393 or so. like 393, 394. That's kind of a decision point, because if it fails there, it's probably going back to like 388. It's just sort of my take on it, and this is just based on the strikes I see. So there's probably going to be an attempt to salvage this thing at 393 or so. But yeah, we'll see if that passes. But yeah, the flow is really wanting to take this back to between 376 and 380. That's kind of the dominant picture. But again, SPY, it will kind of pump on you. So I would look for an attempt at around 393.
Your 380 is kind of your 20-day volume profile, so that number does make sense. Would you say, and I know it's kind of putting you on the spot, but best educated guess, would it be easier to play the downside this week or the upside?
Yeah, it's easier to play the downside when the RSI gets a little overheated on like a 5-minute chart or something like that. I mean, if you're scalping, if you're looking for a kind of
breakdown,
a breakdown, 393 is kind of the breakdown number for me that's gonna take it down $6 to $10. Yeah,
I see that too. Yeah, it kind of bounced off that last 3 days. Perfect. Do want to talk, and I just thought about this last week, because since we added the SPY, we should also talk about the ones that we suggest are a little bit easier to play. So Boyle and Cold, which I assume we're on the same page with that.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Boyle is up here at $86. Had another day of close to 10%. You really could just make a living off of these. I think Boyle has a little more room on my end. Looking for this to hit 90 or so, between 90 and 94. Again, really dependent on natural gas prices, and you can let futures kind of guide you there. I had put in just in the room, and I got to do a better job of getting this in my notes. But I said it at $6 that natural gas was going to flip extremely bullish, and it's now $8.29.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so we're kind of approaching a spot where it's going to pull back. So I think that the two plays are either to scalp Boyle to the upside, or to scale in carefully to cold as a because you're just if you're in cold and you're down, as long as they aren't options that are going to expire, you'll get your money back. I mean, it's going to pull back. It just is. So you'll be fine.
I'm buying like 500 shares of Cold on Monday at some point in time. It's a matter of time.
Exactly.
To be honest, if it takes a year, it's better on the taxes.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, that's if you're one of them accounts, that's how I would look at this play. I really do. You just want to buy them both low. You can have them both. Like right now, I'd be getting out of Boyle and adding Cold, right? And you can just ride that boat. You really can.
You can, and it's I mean, Cold is going to go to 40. It's probably going to go to 60. I mean, in kind of normalized geopolitical conditions, when some of this stuff starts to shake out, because it's just really sensitive to European news right now.
Well, I think that's the thing we really should say is that is there gonna be some sense of normalcy in the natural gas market before the winter kicks in? How close to normal do we get before then? Because I think all hell will break loose again then.
Right.
At least in the the sentiment. Maybe not in what's really happening, but people are gonna think it's cold. You're gonna need more gas, and it's just gonna sound panicky.
Right, right.
So yeah, I don't know. And again, where we started, these are so much better than Spy, QQQ,
Well, they just don't.
all
They're
those.
more, they're more sustained in their moves. They don't give you that whiplash that Spy. I mean, Spy does that every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, there's people. Spy can go down 3%, and there's a ton of people losing money on puts. That's just because it's all about your entry, and they'll end up they'll chase a big fat red candle, and then it'll spike up for 15 minutes, and they'll panic sell, and then it goes back down, and then they'll chase it again. I mean, it's tough to trade it that way.
It's like
Which
watching people drive down a damn icy hill.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why it's just better have a level in mind, and if the setup is right, it pumps to your resistance, and it's overheated. I'm going to enter here. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Whatever. But I'm not bouncing around. Like I know what the trade is going to do. It's either going to fail here and I'll stop loss out at 20%, or it's going to tank here and I'm going to go 50, 70, 90% on these contracts. But you have to be patient, and definitely do not try to chase the first candle on SPY or QQQ. Like, do not do that. That is just wait for a pullback or a breakdown. Like, you just have to do it that way.
I don't know how much you do it, but for me, on share side, 100%. But on the option side, I kind of like transition it over. I look at the full chart on the option, like the last like 4 or 5 days, and if it's not close to the bottom, like the price, I'm not interested.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just not, and I don't know if you do that or if you're just purely on the location of the chart, right? Like, Oxy's at 57. Whether it's $2 or $5, I'm buying the damn contract. I don't know if you actually look at the price, but for me, that's huge, and like, you just get a better entry, and it's important. It's very, very important.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I mean, and sometimes like you can set up a bid on an options contract that if it doesn't drop to my level right here, I'm just going to let it go, and I'm not gonna spend an extra $50 just because I want to be in this. It has to hit, it has to come back down to my level. That can help with your risk reward on it. I mean, I know the Goose is really picky about when to buy, and I think that's a good mentality to have with it.
I guess the best way to frame what I'm trying to get out of you is like on the QQQ one we talked about earlier. Is that consistently the same price, like for the ODTs? Are they always like 65?
Oh yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, they are. It's
so you're familiar.
When you're, yes. So what I want is if it's 1 or 2 days to expiration, I want the contract to cost $70 to $90. If it's a 0 DTE, I want it anywhere to 50, just depending on the time of day and all that. And then like a weekly, like $150. And the consistent thing about every one of these I mentioned is that they're 1 or 2 spots out of the money. Yeah, so it's feasible that they're going to hit it. You don't want to buy something where the strike is 3% away on QQQ. I mean, yeah, it can happen, but it's not likely to happen. And so even a move in your direction isn't going to pump the price of the contract up very much. So that 1 or 2 spots out of the money is usually where you want to go. Something like, and then you just have to know what you're in. Like AMRS, 1 or 2 spots out of the money is like $5, and that doesn't work at all, right? So you go in the money or close. Really, for that one, 2C is what you want. But yeah, so that's where I am with those.
So the last follow up, sorry. Um, so if it's like that contract that you're saying is normally like $50 or $90, right? 70 to 90. If you see
Mhm.
it for like discounted for like 50, do you just buy, or do you like?
Or no, actually, no. I want to spend. I want to spend 70. So
Okay,
I'll go to
okay,
the next strike that costs 70.
perfect.
So because it's the relationship to the underlying price that matters more than that
Ah,
specific contract.
okay.
Because I know how it's when I enter at 70, I know it's going to go to 100 very quickly, and I know, and it doesn't take much of a move, and I know the move I need to get it there. So and by the way, that's what scale out, right?
Sure,
And I'll
sure.
leave a couple, but yeah, so that's what I'm after in that particular kind of trade.
That information right there, I'm posting in chat. This conversation is gold for option traders because I'm ignorant. So when stuff clicks, I'm telling you that was a good chunk right there. People need to hear that good stuff. Speaking of
Yeah,
gold, that's my last topic. I want to with you real quick, just as a sector. I know we
yeah.
kind of been talking about it. Seems like we're a little early. How you feel on gold? Um, short term, short termish.
Yeah. I think gold's about to go. They have really pinned this down, um, somewhat artificially, I think, over the past couple months. But in the high inflation environment we're in, and just the flow I'm seeing and all of that, yeah, I think the gold stocks are um, about to flip. In terms of gold futures, um, you really want to see that get back up over 1750. 1800's the number when like on and we're on a run on gold like we saw last time. But I think we're going to test that. So and that's gold futures. So what that means for the stocks is that you want to just have um, a plan and some maybe some levels in mind on that. The stock gold, the ticker gold,
Mm-hmm.
is 1533 right now, and it's kind of hard to get a read on it down here for me. Needs to get back to 17 for me to have some confidence on an uptrend on that one. But this is where I think that you want to look to AUY, which is held
Yes.
up much better. And so AUY, I see that going to 550. And when we get on our next run up on gold, we'll get back above 6, I think. But yeah, AUY is probably the best gold stock. I mean, I maybe should have even hot listed it. I was actually thinking of doing that next week. Sand is another one that on its chart is giving, and the flow is giving a kind of a clear signal for a bounce off 550. Probably going to go to 7, I think.
What was that one again? I'm sorry.
Sand.
Sand. Okay, yeah. AUI is, oh yeah, I like that a lot. I like that.
Yeah.
AUI is it for me. That's why I brought it into the conversation. Um, I, I I love everything that you said on your thesis with that 450 is kind of a, it's almost barcoding around 450 on the day chart. So the sand's doing the same thing. Um,
Yeah, and I think this is what when you have an entire sector had a breakdown, you look for which stocks just kind of collapsed like
Neem.
gold, and then which ones sort of they fell, but they kind of they held their own, and
Yes.
they've been durable against further selling. So Sand and AUI stand out in that regard to me.
And then Neem and Gold are the ones that fit the perfect example of they fell apart.
Yeah, and part of that is they're really high profile, whereas AUI is a little bit under the radar, I think.
Yeah, and I think we're early, so I mean, this kind of fits what we talked about earlier about like you just be patient, you find the ones that are holding levels better, which, and then the ones that are failing, you kind of let go, and then you just strike when the trend changes.
Yeah,
or you
exactly.
get the catalyst comes in, right? 1800 is what we're looking for.
And I fully expect AUY to show up on the hot list for next week.
You
But
want to throw it on there? I'm down.
Yeah, I'm down to put it on. Yeah,
Okay.
it's actually, I mean, CDE is a different sort of trade. So
it's a minor, yeah.
Yeah. So AUY is a pure gold play.
Yeah. No, I like it. I like it off of 450. It was in the notes anyways. Perfect.
Shares or monthly options on that one and are good.
Yes, sir. That's all I have. You have anything?
Nope. Just trying to get my full notes up and all that. Am planning to get back into the live streams. I've just had some summer life circumstances got in the way of that, but definitely enjoy doing that. I think it brings some value. So definitely want to get back to that.
Yeah, I missed those. Those were really good. I don't like a lot of the pre-market stuff because of the bias, but I trust you. So
yeah,
that's I don't know how else to put it. Like listen to Zip or that trade, whatever that tune.
Yeah. I think like for me, pre-market is not it's not like I'm just having a fresh reaction to price action and talking about what's running, but I read the flow the night before. Here's sort of how what's happening this morning relates to what I saw. And so that's kind of my whole take on it.
Yeah. Like I don't turn the news on till dang near power hour, just because I don't want to listen to the bias.
Yeah.
So I think you do a good job at that. Perfect. Well, sure it's nice out there. Thank you for your time, P. Enjoy the day. Yeah, that's about what I got.
All right. Take care. I'll see you guys.
Yes, sir.
Bye.